Hey, TJ, you were really durable the first 4 years in the league. Obviously, this year you've had some issues. I'm curious as to what happened with the groin the other night related to what happened earlier in the season, and sort of what do you make of kind of how the season's gone from you on a health front?
Oh, just one of those things where Thursday games are always tough. Obviously had some tightness throughout the week going into it. Didn't have enough time to fully recover. Tried to go and wasn't able to play the whole game.
We'll go to Brooke Fryer. Brooke.
Yeah, TJ, along those lines, I mean, how helpful was it to have the extended break afterward to get healed up, and where are you feeling now as far as that injury goes?
Yeah, it definitely helped to have the back end of the short week just to rest and recover and help my body kind of catch back up, and feeling much better this week.
Brooke, do you have a follow-up?
I'm feeling much better. Do you anticipate being able to play on Sunday?
Yeah, I'm going to play.
Jeff Hathorn.
TJ, how big of a challenge are Tannehill's legs, and what does that do for a defense that a guy is able to rush like he does?
Yeah, it's just one of those guys that you have to be very aware of how you rush the rush lanes, just in the passing game alone, but also in situational football. He can do the zone reads and the zone read keeps and stuff like that. So we can do some things schematically to help out as well. But I think more than anything, it's just us being disciplined in our rush lanes and in the run stopping when he does do those zone read keeps.
Jeff, if you got a follow-up.
I'm good, thank you.
All right, Mike Brazuto.
TJ, the holes that the Vikings were able to exploit last Thursday, were they a little bigger at times than you typically see? And if so, how do you get that corrected in 1 week?
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't take a football expert to know that those holes were bigger than normal holes you see. So it's something that we definitely tried to correct.
All right, Will Graves.
TJ, just to sort of follow up my first question. I mean, it was the groin is the same issue you had week 2 against the Raiders. And, when you look at what's piled up this year, do you just attribute that to bad luck more than anything else?
Yeah, it's not like I'm out here trying to get hurt. I'm trying to do everything I can each and every week to play and perform. And sometimes the soft tissue stuff is tough to really pinpoint how or what's happening. I don't know. I wish I had the answer because obviously I would fix it.
We'll go back to Brooke Fryer.
Yeah, TJ, you have Bud Dupree. Obviously, I don't think he's activated from IR yet, but what's it going to be like just seeing him now with another team? And how much do you miss? I know you have Alex, but how much do you miss at least having a guy like him in the locker room and playing with him?
Yeah, Bud's a phenomenal player, but an even better person, a great friend, and a guy I'm looking forward to seeing. We still stay in touch, and just one of those guys that was always upbeat, just a really good guy to have around the facility, and even outside the facility, just an all-around great guy.
All right, back to Jeff.
TJ, what's the discussion in the room of just getting off to better starts and having better results in the first halves of games?
Well, there's no discussion to be had anymore. It's to the point where we just need to start faster. It's just something that it's quite obvious. We know we need to do it better. We can talk as much as we want, but until we do it, we just have to expect that we need to come out and start faster. And I mean, it's all about action. It's all about what we do in practice and how we study film and all the small things that you just have to keep harping on. But nothing needs to be said because we all understand.
Hey, Pat, how's it going? Just wanted to, Ben had said you were kind of taking that hard at the end of the game there. Obviously, there's 3 defenders. Somebody makes a play. I don't know, how did you kind of take that and how have you moved on? How has that helped you kind of grow as a player?
Yeah, I mean, definitely sucks not being able to come away with that catch. But, credit to the Vikings for making a good play and Harrison Smith and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, I think, that's a catch I've made, a couple of times in camp and my past. So I think, at the end of the day, I just got to, make that play. And, it was kind of a good situation that I was in. And I just got to continue to, hope to be in that situation and make the play.
Was that, if you don't mind, just Ben making that throw in that situation to you, and he has to make that throw with seeing 3 defenders and knowing before you've made your cut and everything. Is that a level of the trust he has in you? Did they went to you with the game on the line like that? Is that something you can take from it?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, you can take that from it. I kind of did in a little way, but I just gotta finish the play and come away with the contested catch.
Guys, since there's only a couple of you on here, if you have follow-ups, just feel free to ask them like you would a normal press conference. Aditi, do you have anything?
I do, yes. Hi, Pat.
Hello.
Mike Tomlin says that for rookies, usually the second half of the season is a little bit harder because people get a beat on you. They know what you're doing. You have been the exact opposite. Is that because of opportunity, or is the game slowing down for you? What do you attribute that to?
I think it's a little bit of both. I think obviously, Ben and I's relationship has grown immensely throughout the whole season. Game in and game out and practice, stuff like that. I think we've developed a comfort level for each other. But also, I think, the game is also slowing down for me. I think that I've seen a lot of different coverages and ways different NFL teams attack, our offense and stuff like that. So just slowing it down and just kind of like chemistry that I've built within the offense and within the staff and all that kind of stuff.
Hey,
Okay,
guys, sorry, Aditi, we can't
Yeah.
hear your typing, so if you can just mute when he's answering.
Okay. Pat, what about them? What do they do defensively? What does their secondary do defensively that's maybe a little different than what you've seen?
Who are the Titans?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that they do a good job kind of disguising, they're too deep. They're not always just too deep safeties. Sometimes they'll invert and sometimes they'll bring the corners out to play that too deep half. So I think just the way they disguise and stuff like that, they're very confident in their secondary and they have a good pass rush. So I think that, it's definitely going to be a handful. But I think, this week of preparation and stuff like that has been very, very good.
Okay, I've got one more. I talked to Kevin Byard yesterday, and he said the one thing that really stands out about you is the contested catches, the combat catches.
Mm-hmm.
Is that something you take pride in? Is that something you practice? And why do you think you're so good at that? Like if a 50-50 ball goes up, why are you so confident you're coming down with it?
Yeah, I think it's just kind of like the want to get the ball. I think, the mentality that I've kind of had since college, and now that my tennis coach, Fredo, I think he's done a great job with making us every single day have those contested catch drills and just build our confidence in that, that element of the game. So I think, credit to him and credit to, the rest of the guys just and Ben obviously just throwing it up there and making sure that, come down with it.
Okay. Angela, can I ask just one more?
Yeah, of course.
Okay. Byard compared you to another tight end in the NFL. Who do you think it was?
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know.
Come on, you can't guess. It's a great tight end. Whose game do you think yours is most like?
Have I been called it in the past? I think.
No.
No.
Nope. Why are you looking to Angela for an answer?
I don't know. I don't know. Kelsey? I don't know.
That's aiming high, isn't it?
Yeah, I know. Who is it?
Mark Andrews.
Oh, hell yeah.
You said you like Mark Andrews. Who is Lamar Jackson's safe security blanket also. Yeah. So not a bad comparison.
For sure.
Chris Adamski, Trim, do you have any more, Chris?
Yeah, I just wanted, there's been a lot of talk this week about the no-huddle and everything. And what is your view of why you guys seem to be able to move the ball once you go into that a lot better than maybe when you're not in it?
I think the biggest thing is probably just like the rhythm of it. I think, we do really well off momentum. It seems like, and it feels like, so, when we have a good play or explosive play and we get back in the huddle, I think the defense can kind of reset and just kind of see what goes on, and kind of be able to adjust to us. But we're moving fast. The defense doesn't have time to adjust. And when we're rolling, we're rolling. Like when Najee has a good run, an explosive run on first down and moves the chains, we continue to that and stuff like that. So I think it just kind of gets the defense off edge and it just allows us to play more free and, make more plays probably.
Is it one of those things where it's a lot of fans will say run it from the beginning, but is that unsustainable for an offense? I mean, in terms of the whether it be I don't want to say conditioning, but the time, keep that up for 60 minutes. Would that be hard to do?
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to keep a hurry up offense going if you're not going to get the initial first down. So, obviously I think, if you are behind the chains on second down and third down, it's kind of hard to get that up tempo because you're going to try to get that right play to get that first down. And then when you get that first down, then you can get going. So it's just we have to put ourselves in a situation where we can get that initial first down, then we can get into our hurry up game if that's what we choose to do.
And then finally, regarding that, Ben and I think even Matt said about how with rookies or new guys, the communication, it has to be spot on. And if one guy isn't getting the right signal, I know it's more like an audible thing, but if some things aren't going right, you being a rookie yourself with so many rookies, has that progressed throughout the season where you guys are better and more equipped to do the nonverbal and not huddle and be able to everybody on the same page?
Yeah, I think our system on the no-huddle is pretty simple and pretty player friendly. That allows us to play fast. So I think almost the young guys are really used to it.
Aditi, do you have a few more?
Yeah, I got one last one, Pat. Your locker is by Ben's, right?
Yeah.
Have you noticed any, I know that he's like still sort of new to you, but have you noticed any difference in him at all right now as compared to September?
No, he's actually been very consistent. I think, he's done a great job just kind of making us feel part of the organization and part of the locker room. And so he's been pretty consistent throughout the whole year of the type of person he is.
So he's not ripping souvenirs off or acting like this is goodbye?
No, he's definitely not. He's focused on the plays.
Thank you. I'm good, Angela.
Hey, Najee, when we talked to Ben earlier this week, he said that he talked to you, I think it was during the third quarter, just about not giving up and how the way that you specifically finished the game was going to endear yourself to Pittsburgh fans. Just what do you remember about what he was telling you? And is that something that you really did carry with you through the end of that Vikings game?
Yeah, he came to me and was telling me how to finish. But I mean, that's how I always play to finish. So I mean, it's not like, yeah, he was just telling me about finishing and stuff like that. I mean, he's always like that. Like I said, he's always been mentoring me this season.
Jeff Hawthorne, 93.7.
Najee, along those lines, how much have you appreciated his words and what kind of relationship have you built with Ben here over this season?
I mean, I built a pretty good relationship with him ever since I came in here, stepped in the building, like I said, invite him to his house, stuff like that. So, just all the help is much appreciated.
Aditi Kinkabala, NFL Network.
Hey, Najee, I talked to Kevin Byard of the Titans yesterday, and he said the one thing that stood about you most is the way that you never give up on a play when it goes wrong. Like he was talking about the Steelers throwing an interception, and it's Najee Harris who will run across the field to tackle a guy. Can you tell me a little bit about that mindset, why that is, why even when something goes wrong, you're willing to play defense?
Yeah, man. It's part of the sport. I mean, like, not everything's going to go your way, especially in the NFL. So you gotta be more than just a player, I guess, offensively. And you just gotta be a complete player. And, I might, complete player as in like, you might be like catching the ball, receiving, running through holes, scoring touchdowns. But like complete player, I feel like is, even doing little extra things, finishing the plays, like finishing blocks. And even like when like interception or fumble happens to occur, I mean, just being somewhere in the vicinity or just being somewhere to make the play. Like there's an interception with the Bengals. For me to come down there and tackle the guy when he would have scored a touchdown, that's 7 points. That they did not score because if he would have scored, that would have been 7 points. But our defense stopped him 3 points, and that could be the difference of the game. Especially in NFL. I mean, it's so close, and anything could happen. It's just just those little points that you think don't matter. It matters a lot. And I mean, feel like we need more of that on this team, to be honest.
You got your hand raised. Do you have a follow-up to that?
I do, actually. To that point, you're saying we need more of that on that team. So several opposing play, even though you're a rookie, your teammates talk about you already kind of taking a leadership role here. Some other players on other teams have talked about maybe getting under certain of your teammates' skin, that maybe Chase Claypool is a guy who could be riled up. Are you willing to talk to him? Do you try to keep guys calm the same way you're being asked about Ben talking to you? Are you far enough into the season that you'll take that role?
Yes, ma'am. Even during the games, I mean, when I first got here, just talking to the linemen, how frustrated they're getting. I mean, just you know, it's part of the sport to talk. I mean, you know, some people like that in their game. You know, I'm really not the type of guy to do that, but like, you know, sometimes it's a difference between like talking mess and then going overboard and drawing a penalty and affecting the whole team. So I'll talk to some of the old linemen about it, like you know, like it's all good to do that, but just make sure you know the limit of where, you know, it could be a penalty and affect all of us. You know, it's cool to talk and all that stuff, but just know that like there's a limit. You know, when there's a lot of little chatter outside with the wideouts, you know, obviously the DBs want to do that to throw you off the game. It's part of the tactics, but you know, you can talk mess, just know that like when there's a limit, you know what I mean? Just know that when it affects the team and know that, you know, it's going to be a one-on-one battle all game. And, you know, just know that if you win most of the battles, that's just as good as talking mess if you just win the plays. So just little things like that and telling them like, you know, it's okay to talk mess. Just know that there's a limit, you know what I mean? And when it affects the team, now it becomes a problem. So
Will Graves, AP.
Keep cutting me off.
And not.
Yeah, it's all right.
I thought you were done.
No, it's all right. It's all right.
Feel free to finish your answer, Naj. I'm fine with it.
No. You're good. You're good. They're just Andrew Lynch is tired, guys. Don't worry about it.
TJ was just telling us how, you know, the reason that he had trouble last Thursday is because of the short turnaround from Sunday to Thursday. And, you know, he never recovered in time to really go. I'm curious, you're 14 games now into this thing or whatever it is. I mean, how is you holding up physically, and have you had to modify sort of, you know, the way you approach things?
I'm good. It was a fast turnaround. I'll tell you that much. I ain't never played a game that short before. But I mean, you know, it's good. I handled it well. I actually take care of my body really well. So, but I'll tell you what though, that was the fast turnaround. It was like one of the struggling things I had this year, just to get my body back in shape faster. I have to like push back everything up closer. Like I usually have massages up throughout the week, but I have to push all of them up closer because we left, I think, that Wednesday after practice. So I mean, it was fast. It was fast. But
a quick follow-up, Angel, was your body like, what the hell? I mean, like 4 days later, you're playing another game. I mean, that's the first time you've ever had to do that.
No, my body was, you know, it was like, bring it on, you know. So
Jeff Hawthorne, 93.7.
Now, as Mike Tomlin said, he spent the weekend kind of looking over tape. As you look at it, what can you guys do to fix the problem of slow starts? Is it more no-huddle? Like, what are some of the solutions you guys have to get off to better starts?
Well, I think there's a lot of things. You know, I think it starts off with, you know, just doing the little things. Like, I mean, finishing plays, you know, finishing our blocks with me and pass protection, finishing like, you know, just finishing runs or just finishing through the catches and like trying to dig out extra yards. And even like after catches, you know, try to get more yak and try to execute better was the main thing. You know, we really got to execute better, I feel like. But, you know, it's a lot of factors for us to be starting fast. But I think the most eye-pointing thing, eye-standing out thing is just execution, man. We need to execute better, 100%.
I'm sorry.
Dang.
Brooke Pryor, ESPN.
Yeah, Najee, going back to what you were saying to Aditi, how you help other guys, you know what the limit is during game. How did you learn what the limit was? Did somebody teach that to you, or is that something you just kind of picked up in playing high school football and on from there? Yes,
man. I had gotten in a fight my high school year in a game. I had to beat this dude. But I mean, so you know, obviously I learned from it, but it affected all of us, man. I was even out the next game, you know. So in high school, so I guess that was a learning point, yeah.
Did anybody pull you off of that guy, like in that fight? Like, do you remember how that kind of all broke down?
Yeah, I hit him in his jaw, and then, well, he had a helmet on, so I guess. No, but what happened was, I got up. It was a late hit after the play because, hey, listen, it was late after. I could talk to Brooke.
Go, talk.
I could talk. What happened, brother? Yeah, let me tell you, I like people asking me this type of stuff because I'm completely honest, man. So what happened was he did late hit back after the play, you know, and he was doing it all game. And I guess I reached a point where I got tired of it. You know, I just kind of reacted and got in a fight with him, and I got suspended next game. But, you know, ever since then, you know, I look back at it, I'm like, God damn, like that really affected the whole team. Stuff like that, I mean, it plays such a big role in affecting the whole team. Really, at the end of the day, if it's affecting the team, then I mean, That's all that matters, man. So yeah, that's my learning point.
By DB Kinkle-Bala, NFL Network.
So really quickly, I have a few, but really quickly before Angela cut you off, do you ever talk trash? Well, you're talking about other people talking mess. Do you never talk trash, Najee?
No, ma'am. I'm always respectful. No.
You can respectfully talk trash.
I do not. I
Okay, so then to Will's point, he was asking you about the turnaround, but you actually have more touches than anybody else in the NFL, I think. In general, do you feel worn down? Do you feel like, wow, I've played a lot of football this year?
You guys been I must say ever since I don't even know when, maybe like week 8 or something. You guys, that's like been the main question you guys ask, huh?
Well, you know, because a year ago, Mike Tomlin kind of shut down Chase Claypool. Like he stopped going to him and he said, well, we want to make sure we preserve him. I mean, it happens. It's a rookie. It's a longer season. So it's not unreasonable to ask. You have a lot of touches.
I'm all right. Like I said, if it's a problem, I'll tell them, but it has not been a problem. I think we fall in the stereotype of like, oh my God, you know, there's so many amount of hits on a running back. I don't believe in that at all. You know what I mean? I feel like I train for stuff like this. Like I really train a lot to carry the load, I guess they'll say. I train to do that. How do you train for that? You work out a lot. You know what I mean? I work out a lot, you know? So stuff like this, like it doesn't really affect me. You know what I mean? Hey, will it affect me down the road? I don't know. But right now, I'll tell you that I'm perfectly fine. 100% fine.
Awesome. To be young. All right, here's one more. The Tennessee Titans defense. Is there anything that front does that really stands out to you? Or is there anything about, you know, the schematically that impresses you?
I mean, they have a good rush. Like, you know, I say that every week, but like, it's true. Like they really do have a good rush. Just like last week, got a good rush. And before that, it was just like, you know, the way they utilize the players too in the stunts and that the D-line happens and just even like one of their one-on-one battles. I mean, it's really good. You know, they have a good secondary. You know, they have good backers. They just have a good defense. But I think what really stands out most is their front. Their front four guys is good. High motors. You know, really aggressive. They do a lot of good stunts, like I keep saying. But yeah, man, their D-line is for sure really good.
Will Graves, Associated Press.
Naj, I want to stick up for the reporters here. A lot of us were here when Lev was here, right? And for 4 or 5 years, Lev was the best dude in the business, and Lev touched the ball 1 billion times. And then down the road, obviously, you know, he's even 30 yet. I'm not even sure. And it's, you know, it's sort of, he's in a tight spot. So I'm just sort of curious as you think about your career. I mean, you see what Derrick Henry has carried 1 billion times, and this year he's sort of out. So I'm sort of curious as a young guy, how do you approach, I got to attack the moment versus also the time, man, I want to play this game for as long as they let me. As long as my body can stand it.
As long as my body can stand it. Yeah, well, I think it's a fine line of how you approach the game. So if you know what I'm saying by that, okay, so like you said Derrick Henry and Le'Veon Bell. What you said was that they both touched the ball a lot of times. So I feel like during the offseason, you got to train yourself knowing that hey, there's going to be certain times where I'm going to be touching the ball 30 plus times. So I think it's how you attack the offseason really plays a factor of how it will go in the long run. Like LeBron James spent like what, $2 million, $3 million in his body recovering? You probably don't know that. Yeah, you guys know that, right? You guys don't? Oh, well, if you guys didn't know, he does. So the reason why he does that, I mean, because you know he plays a lot of minutes. You know, I mean, he's not. I know it's less physical, but he plays a lot of minutes. But just in football, like you got to invest a lot, even more. I invest a lot in my body, just from cryotherapy, from yoga, from training a lot, from doing a lot of dry needling, from doing all types of stuff to recover well and to train well and to do all types of stuff, knowing that I'm going to be having a couple games or shoot, even now where I'm going to be touching the ball 20 plus games. So I think it's how you really approach it. I mean, you guys know, you guys self that Derrick Henry trains a lot. You guys see the videos and stuff like that. I think because he knows what the season's going to bring. You know, he's going to have seasons, games where he got to carry the load. Really, that's all his games, really, but where he has to carry the load. And I think his body doesn't act no differently, knowing that, like, okay, this is new to me, but it's really not because how we approached it during the off season. So, you know, just like everything, if you want to master something, you got to train at it. You know, I feel like you could train at, you know, carrying the load. So that's what I believe.
We're going to get to two more. I did not put you were done. Chris Adamski's trim.
I'm going to keep beating the dead horse and playing to the stereotype that we all have.
Oh, my Lord.
but I'll take a little bit different take on it.
Okay.
You were a guy, now, you had reasons for it last year, and I'm sure you talked about them and whatever, but like the thing where when you played in the playoffs, you played in your season whenever you could have opted out and all that. Some people have said, and even brought up in your draft, like he's had a lot of touches, he's had a lot of mileage. And theoretically, who knows if it did, probably not, but cost you some draft stock. I don't know. Maybe some team said, well, he's too much tread in those tires or whatever. What's your take on the sit out the bowl game thing? Like from a player perspective, take that beating or
Yes,
not
sir.
take that beating or be with your team, whatever it is.
Yes, sir. Well, first of all, I don't think I even carried the ball a lot in college. I mean, how could I carry the ball a lot when we had like 8 receivers who went in the first round? I'm like, are you serious? Are you serious? Like, you think that out of all that talent, they're really gonna give me the ball 30 plus times a game? Like, I gotta, and I ain't played until my senior year. So that's 2 years where I was just like, just chilling, you know what I mean? So I don't even pay attention to any of that. Now, playing in the bowl game wise, now what that is, I feel like, depending on if you're draft eligible or not, and where you at in the draft, if that one game right there can help you out, get higher in the draft and, maybe draw more attention toward like scouts towards, picking you earlier, then I think you absolutely should play the game. But if you're a well classified, like this guy right here is the first round, top 10, top whatever, then it ultimately comes down to your decision. I understand if guys want to opt out, because of, injuries and, that stuff plays a factor. But, everybody has the decision. But if it was me, I'm always going to be able to play it. I'm always going to not turn my back on my team in a way. I'm not saying there's nothing bad against the other guys, but it's just, me personally, I would just keep playing. But if it boosts your draft eligibility to play, then you should do it. If you're already like a top whatever, then it's just something you got to talk about with you, your family, your team, and your mom, agent, whatever. So.
All right. Last one, Aditi.
Najee, no one has run away with the AFC just yet, and definitely nobody's won the AFC North. How much are you paying attention to records and standings, and has anybody brought that up this week? Like, we are totally in the thick of this, that it's still all available to us.
Yes, ma'am. They have brought up that word. Yes, ma'am. Yeah, that has been brought up to us. But just the fact of looking around at everybody's record, no, not so much. We're really focused on the Tennessee Titans, but yes, that has been brought up. That even though we lost last game, like we're still in the hunt. We're still in we still much alive of playoff picture too. So really now we just gotta, we actually control our own destiny. We went out. We've been in the playoffs.
Najee, when you say that's been brought up, who brought it up?
Yeah,
was it Coach
Tomlin? Still in the hunt,
Yeah, but who brought that up? Was it Coach Tomlin or was it a teammate?
It's just all. First of all, if you play football, you know that you are too. But it's just all of us, all of us as a team.